Welcome to Achieving Accessibility Design and Reducing Barriers. This video will introduce principles of accessibility design, types of accessibility issues, reducing barriers, and techniques to improve accessibility. Principles of accessibility design. Provide alt text. Use headings, lists, and other structural elements. Use headers for tables. Provide captions. Avoid color to convey meaning. And make JavaScript accessible. Common barriers include visual, auditory, physical, cognitive, and speech. Low vision can include partial sight, poor acuity, tunnel vision, and clouded vision. Color blindness and blindness are also some visual disabilities. To reduce barriers, provide alt text, keyboard navigation, color contrast, heading hierarchy, descriptions in videos, and resize text and images in your CSS. Auditory disabilities can include hard of hearing and deafness. To reduce barriers for auditory disabilities, provide captions or transcripts, offer volume controls, and allow adjustment of caption text size and colors for media players. Avoid voice-only interactions. For clarity, keep the language easy to understand. Avoid slang and jargon. Use active voice. Use headers and bullets. Practice consistent word choice. Physical disabilities include amputation, arthritis, fibromyalgia, rheumatism, muscular dystrophy, repetitive stress injury, tremors and spasms, and quadriplegia. To reduce barriers, provide full keyboard support and enough mouse command capability. Allow enough time to complete tasks. Include navigation aids and less complicated page functions. Cognitive disabilities are attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorder, memory impairments, multiple sclerosis, perceptual or learning disorders, seizure disorders, and dyslexia. To reduce barriers for people with cognitive disabilities, create simple navigation and easy-to-follow page layouts. Use familiar words, avoid jargon, and eliminate unnecessary wording. Use relevant spacing because it reduces cognitive overload, organizes content, and shows relationships between headings and paragraphs. Dyslexia is the most common cognitive accessibility issue. To improve readability, use left-aligned text and sans serif font. Limit italics, underlining, and all caps. Break up text and use white space or infographics to convey information. Speech disabilities can include the following. Apraxia of speech is an inconsistent articulation of words or phrases. Cluttering is an increased speaking rate. Dysarthria is speaking difficulties due to weak speech muscles. Stuttering is repetition of sounds, words, phrases, and pauses while speaking. Muteness is the inability to speak for various reasons. To reduce barriers, include simple navigation and page layouts. Use familiar language, avoid jargon, and eliminate unnecessary wording. Create keyboard commands and use alternative means of communication such as SNS, chats, or emails. Techniques to improve accessibility. Alt text or alternative text is the written copy that appears in place of an image. Visual elements like images can be an accessibility barrier. Users often rely on screen readers or braille readers. Convey the why of the image as it relates to the web page. Add short descriptive alt text to non-decorative images. Avoid redundant phrases such as image of or photo of. Avoid adding alt text to decorative images. Navigation can be a challenge for blind and visually impaired users. Keyboard navigation is needed for those who cannot use a mouse. Blind users often use braille keyboards or trackpads. Keyboard navigation advice. Manually check your visitor's user experience. Navigate and select each link with the keyboard alone. Use the Tab key to navigate forward and ensure users jump from link to link. Use the Shift plus Tab keys to navigate backward. The Enter key enables users to select a link. Links are unusable if only accessible with a mouse. Color contrast measures the perceived difference in brightness between two colors. Create sufficient contrast between foreground and background color. Color contrast advice includes a 4.5:1 ratio for text and images. Large-scale text and images can have a contrast of at least 3:1. Black text on white background has the highest readability. Use a contrast checker to evaluate and calculate. Heading hierarchy is the relationship between main headings and subheadings. Use relevant heading tags. Use the H1 heading to describe the page. An example of a content hierarchy with corresponding heading levels is here. Descriptions make content videos accessible to visually impaired users. Include text, audio alternatives, and transcripts. Create an easy-to-understand video description, high-quality audio, and minimize background noise. Captions should be synchronized to appear at approximately the same time as the corresponding audio. Ensure it's equivalent to the spoken words and readily available. Smaller font sizes can make it hard for low-vision users. Allow users to increase font sizes. Ensure the call-to-action buttons have larger font sizes. In the example on the right, the font size is 100% on the HTML tag. This ensures that the font size value equals the font size specified by the user's browser. Use form tag and clear labels to describe the meaning to the browser and the developer. Avoid non-semantic elements such as a div tag. Placeholder text can make it hard for visually impaired users. Clearly describe the error message and suggest a solution. Link the error message with specific fields. Add programmatic labels for screen readers. View the examples. Connect the label with the input. Match the labels equals attribute with inputs ID equals attribute. Or code the input within the label tags. Flashing or blinking content can cause seizures. Keep flashing or blinking in content to no more than 3 times in 1 second. Try to keep the flashing area small. Label and include pause and stop controls for video and audio. Ensure controls are keyboard accessible. Include controls to turn down the volume. Provide caption, transcripts, and audio description. Remember these points for making your website, course site, or other online resource accessible for all users. And visit the Teach Access repository to find useful example resources. Thank you for taking the time to find out more about accessibility in web design. Think about how you might help your own students design better web products.